If you're in your late teens or early 20s, I beg you to pay attention to this video because it's so important and I wish I knew about it sooner. Knowing about this concept from an early age has helped me be on the way to retiring early. When I say retiring early, I mean earlier than the average person would in the UK. The concept that I'm talking about is the FIRE movement, and the acronym stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. Now, I originally fell in love with this movement when I was consuming a lot of dividend investing content on YouTube, and this was when I first got into investing and started to get into this idea of I might be able to achieve financial freedom closer than I think. There's this whole trend of living a soft girl lifestyle or like relying on a man to buy you stuff, but as women, we can literally do this ourselves with investing and building our own wealth so we don't have to rely on anyone else. This is what really motivated me to get interested in this because I didn't want to be dependent on anyone else, and I also wanted to get ahead and not have to work into my old age. Now, a lot of people will say, well, work gives you purpose. Don't get me wrong, I love working. I just don't want to be forced to do it. And that mindset shift in terms of thinking, okay, I can do this if I enjoy it, is such a massive privilege, and it's something that I want to work towards. So the movement basically says to cut all of your unnecessary expenses to try and save a large percentage of your income, so 50 to 70%, and this is what I've been doing. Of course, everyone comes from different backgrounds, and I think that that's the beauty of the internet. Like, everyone has a different experience, and I don't think that, you know, I live at home, for example, so obviously it's going to be easier for me to save, but people take that and they think, okay, that's why you've been able to save 50k. It definitely helps, but overall I try to cut down on literally everyday luxuries that I can to be able to save that amount of money. Now, you really don't have to be as aggressive as I've been with my saving to reach the financial goals that you want to achieve, because if you're young, then you still have time for your money to compound in the stock market, and if you're only investing 10 to 20% of your income, this should be enough. The key here is not about how much you've had saved or how much you save monthly. It's literally the habits. Do you save monthly? It's not about the amount. And if you can save at least 10%, I think that's more than most people. A common reaction that I get to talking about the FIRE movement is people saying, well, your younger years is when you should be living your life to the fullest. You don't know when you're going to drop dead. And while this is true and your life isn't guaranteed, I think it's important to plan for the future. And I don't want to be in a position where I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I have to work. Like, basically I'm doing this so I have more choice and more freedom. And it's not about greed. It's more just so that I can support myself, be independent. My end goal with following this movement is to be able to work whenever I want to, wherever I want to. So traveling while I work and just having this level of flexibility. I am so glad that I started young. And that's not to say that if you're older, you don't have time. You certainly do have time to invest, but you might have to invest double, triple the amount than if you had started at 18. You don't need to be investing large amounts, literally just £50 a month if you're very young. For me personally, I want to hit this goal as quickly as possible, hence why I'm taking a more aggressive or extreme approach. If you want to follow along with this mindset, then definitely follow my page so you don't miss out on further content like this.